Hello, good afternoon. We're here in a new edition of eCTalk in the beautiful city of Miami, right here. Okay, and eCTalk is what? eCTalk is a series of conversations that we'll have with various type of people from the market research industry, especially really a lot of people from our company eCMetrics and eCGlobal, but also other guests that we might have. And we will be always talking about very topics that are trend that are either trendy or they're of interest, and they're also topics related to innovation in the area of market research. So right now we will be talking about ESOMAR 2017. ESOMAR, as many of you know, is the Market Research International Organization. And about 10 days ago, we had the ESOMAR conference for Latin America, okay? So I invited here Adriana Rocha, who is the CEO of eCGlobal, and myself here, I'm Ivan Casas, for those that you don't know me. I'm the CEO of eCMetrics. We're both from the same group, EC Group, and invited her to talk a little bit about ESOMAR 2017, okay? So my first question would be in relation to online communities, because eCGlobal participated at the ESOMAR conference and put actually a paper. He had an interview with Global TV, which many of you know. Global TV is the biggest media company in Brazil, TV and media company in Brazil, and eCGlobal is doing an online community with them. So she had a talk or an interview with the Global team to talk a little bit about online communities. So tell us a little bit about that, about the online communities, and how we're using online communities for market research, and especially for Global as a case.
Yeah. Okay, so hello everyone, and Ivan, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to participate in this eCTalk today. And I had the pleasure to join the ESOMAR Latin America conference as a programming committee. And it was really a great conference. And we had the opportunity to, to put together a very interesting programming, bringing case studies, clients, and agents. I think that we had at that conference 22 countries represented throughout Latin American people coming from other parts of the world as well. And yes, I had the opportunity to interview Ana Frias, the supervisor of customer relationship with Global TV Brazil. And so the interview was about a community called Conversa Global that Global has been building in the last year to really create a new channel. The initial goal is really to create a new relationship channel with their fans of the telenovelas, that's also known as soap operas. And the goal is really to create a new channel where these fans, they become closer to the brand. And it's different. It's a different type of conversation when we compare with Facebook or Twitter, because in this space, this is really a private space, branded, and the fans know that Global is listening to them. And we create a very engaging environment to connect these fans. So it's interesting because a brand that creates a community to connect these fans or other people with similar interests, the brand starts working as a social utility, because these people, they really feel very special, by participating in these communities. And the level of engagement they start creating with the product, with the brand, is really amazing. So this group of fans, they spend hours, some of them come many times a day to share content, to talk with Global, and also to come in real time to talk about, a specific chapter, or a telenovela. So this community is really becoming a very important relationship channel and insights channel, because additionally to being a social media and a community platform, they've been using in different type of tools and activities and techniques, to generate insights, to create groups, to discuss about specific topics, or sometimes even to talk with the authors of the soap operas. So it's becoming a really co-creation space and a continuous space to build relationship, engagement, and to listen, to their fans and followers.
Okay, great. So what we can learn from here is that basically, you're using eCGlobal and is using the online communities. I mean, with two objectives, right? On the one hand, it's a community, especially for global, the area of customer relationship, right? They're using it as a tool for engaging really the viewers of the telenovelas, right? So that's an excellent tool for that. But on the other hand, you're also using it to generate insights, because out of all these relationship actions and activities that you do there, you're actually generating insights. And out of those insights, of course, out of that, you understand more, these users, the users can actually go ahead and help. Why not, create, or give feedback in relationship to the telenovelas. So great. So we have that, and a great tool in that case. Engagement, insights. Perfect. So let's talk about another topic, which I know not only was something that was talked about in ESOMAR 2017, but it's something that is being talked, in the last few years, not only in the field of market research, but also in other areas. But now, talking about market research specifically, let's talk about the big data analysis. Okay. Artificial intelligence. We want to put everything together: artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, predictive modeling. So tell us a little bit on this area of machine learning. How are we using, or how can we use in the field of market research? How can we integrate that with online communities? Okay, can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So since these community platforms really create environments where these, community members, they can spend a lot of time sharing data, generating spontaneous conversations. So a lot of data, structured and unstructured, are generated within this community. So we need really tools to help us process, analyze, extract knowledge, through all of this data. So we've been working with eCMetrics, as you know, to really incorporate some of, artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to, from one side, interpret all of the open text that's being generated. So we can, for example, identify topics, products, emotions, sentiments, and create some models as well for the clients to start understanding what is this spontaneous, conversations that is being generated for the community members. And on the other side, we've been using different tools to integrate surveys with this data generated with the community, and also outside or external data. So, that one of the tools we've been working is how we can, for example, understand how some of these groups of users, how they use other social media to interact, with each other, or to interact with the brands or with the category. So this is something that we've been doing, and I see a lot of potential to integrate community data with structured data collected, for example, for surveys or for, mini activities or mobile basic data that we can collect, because they can share this data as well. So I see more and more usage of big data, artificial intelligence, and automation on this area of analysis, processing, interpretation, and knowledge generation.
Okay, perfect. So basically, summarizing a little bit, this field, what we can say is that we can use these tools of artificial intelligence and prediction. On the one hand, of course, to categorize, especially the open text, all these comments, all this information that you have on these online communities, which, especially a community like Global, which is very engaging, you have a lot of, I'm sure you have a lot of text there. So one thing is that, categorize that, but not only categorizing, in topics, but also interpreting the information, giving sentiments, so what type of sentiments we generate in those type of categories. So you have, so we can see that, yes, we can actually use this tool to categorize, to interpret all, this information. And as you said, Adriana, maybe not only that, but also to integrate information externally, from our social media. Great. So that's a great application of something that we can do. Now, in terms of continuing with the machine learning trend, how do you see this area of machine learning, of artificial intelligence, in terms of using it for market research in general? Not necessarily for the online communities, which we talked already, but for the industry or for the market research area in general.
Okay. Well, I think that as we are seeing artificial intelligence, machine learning being used in many areas nowadays, I see that it will become in a few years maybe just part of the basic market research toolkit, either as part of a chatbot, or I can even mention in another example how machine learning and artificial intelligence is being used to bring scalability to qualitative studies. So, for example, nowadays we work with a partner, Remesh, and we can, for example, we can have a chat moderated for just one moderator, but talking not just with 10 people or 5 people or 8 people. They can, one specific person, moderator, can talk with hundreds, or even thousands of people. And how is that possible? Because at the same time of the conversation is flowing, there's a software interpreting all of the data, doing some automated analysis, doing even some statistical modeling to, identify the clusters and the difference, and the specific segments that are being generated throughout these conversations. And then it's something amazing that we could never imagine a few years ago, how one moderator can be in a chat with 2,000 people, and at the same time, the client and the analyst can have like real-time results. So nowadays, with the users of this type of technology, it's possible. And as I mentioned, I think that's just the beginning, and that we will see more and more smart software, smart algorithms helping, market researchers. So instead of seeing that as a threat, I see that as an opportunity. So we can focus really more on the intelligence. We can focus on what the machines and the software will not be able to do, like storytelling, like analyzing the data through different perspectives, incorporating even intuition that machines, they don't have. So I think that as the technology evolves, we'll do less manual work, and we'll be able to use more our brains, to really interpret this data and to use these machines in a smart way.
Right. So kind of summarizing a little bit what we were talking about is that on the one hand, we can actually use machine learning not only for quantitative studies, especially when we're talking about big data and all this unstructured information, which is something that actually eCMetrics is developing as well. We're actually doing creating a lot of models, big data, and tools, to analyze this information. So that's, on the one hand, that helps in both the quantitative research in terms of categorizing all this information, but also, as you were saying, even in qualitative research, right? In terms of not only categorizing the information, but the software would help to actually predict specific topics, and not only that, perhaps even helping the moderator at some time, or helping the analyst.
Exactly.
So these areas, these are some of the examples where we can use it. And as Adriana was saying, something very important. I think the researchers should look at this as a tool that would help them instead of a threat, right? Which is something that sometimes happens. Okay, so now talking about ESOMAR, the conference, itself. Can you tell me a little bit about the papers and the topics that we're talking about there at ESOMAR 2017 in Mexico City? What were the relevant topics and that you saw?
Yeah. Well, I liked many papers and many presentations. But the innovation session for me was one of the most interesting ones, because we could see some real case studies of, research being developed in Latin America, emerging markets, and sometimes most of the times we don't have the same resource, the same budget of, studies being conducted in other countries, such in the US or Europe. So I think that seeing some real examples on how innovative methodologies are being applied in the region, and when I mention innovative, it includes the uses of new tools, new methodologies, such as artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, communities, but also innovating in the way of engaging participants, in the way of telling the stories or presenting the results. So the innovation session was very interesting, bringing these case studies. In one presentation specifically, the joy of research, I've been talking about this presentation, this paper, to my team and to everyone, but because I think it's very inspiring how it's actually an anthropology study, but they were very creative, innovative on how to design the study, not wanting anything very traditional with quotas, and they really created something very innovative, and also on how to tell the story and to present the results. They hired a presenter and recorded a video, for example, right, to present the results to the market. So I think that this innovation session and how creative, we've seen, some researchers really innovating the research was something that's really stand out for me.
Perfect. So all these papers in terms of innovation, not only on using technology, like on different methodologies, like
yes.
Like online communities, machine learning. So that's one part of it, which was very good. But also new approaches. I mean, not necessarily from the technological point of view, but from the methodological, or maybe the approach that you take to research.
Yes.
And how you engage the research, or at least the consumers, the participants into the research process.
Yeah.
Great. So that's some great ideas. So now, how we apply that? Now talking about, say, eCMetrics, eCGlobal as company, and maybe this goes beyond that. Our company as well in the field of market research. So how do you apply, those learnings into our world? In other words, into our projects, into our studies. What is our homework? In other words,
Well, one of homework really is to sharing this knowledge acquired during the conference with our team, and working with our team to spread this word to our clients and contacts, and some initiatives like this one, recording videos and creating webinars and sharing with our clients some of the tools that we have already, and that will probably help them innovate and start testing some of these new methodologies. So one of our to-dos now is really to working closer with our clients and making sure that we can inspire them as well to be creative, to be innovative, not just using tools, but innovating in the approach, in how to conduct research, how to conduct, engage the participants, and also on how to present the results, how we can tell stories more with the data. And we are seeing more and more needs from our clients pushing us to do that as well. So as a group, what I expect is really that we can really take this message, to as many researchers as we can, and inspire and motivate our clients to do the same, really to innovate and to experiment, because if we don't experiment, if we don't invest and go out of our comfort zone to do the traditional quantitative, we will not move to the next steps. And it's just, it's really, I see that's really compulsory as an industry, that we really, step forward and really also export innovation and creative things to other regions of the world.
Perfect, Adriana. So right now, let's start applying all this knowledge, to our companies, to our company friends, and I guess, you know, it's the end of our eCtalk today. I mean, here from the beautiful city of Miami. Next time will probably be, hopefully, you know, in another city, who knows where. And of course, you know, eCtalk is this series of conversations that we will have about important topics, important themes in the field of market research, especially innovation, which is our area of expertise, or at least our area of interest, right? And friends, thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next eCtalk edition. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
See you in the next eCtalk. Thank you. Bye-bye.